Hey everyone, I am sorry that I am late. I know I am. I've been dealing with some things. Holy moly, I've been juggling. Okay, today because I am running so late, I want to make this video as sweet, short, and to the point as possible. We are going to go over candles, specifically candles. Now, candle magic is very common, very versatile, used all through witchcraft. We are actually going to be working on some shortly. Forgive me, I am trying to find a way to hold this up. But, that'll work. Okay. So let's go over the colors. White. We've been over white before. White is peace, purity, and it is all-purpose. In other words, if you cannot find any of these other color candles, you can use a white candle, a tea light, a regular candle, a giant candle, it does not matter. Whichever candle serves your purposes. It can be a birthday candle, which is very common in making travel altars. Remember, back in the day, witches typically could not afford colorant or the means to make dyes for candles, so typically your candles were a white, cream, yellowish color. So white is fairly all-purpose. Black is protection, banishing, binding. Basically, yeah, I'm far enough in. If you want to get rid of a bitch and you want to be saved from the bitch, use about a black candle. Sorry, it's touching home a little bit. Next is gold, which is success, prosperity, and solar energy. It is pretty handy for getting jobs and things like that, as is a green candle, but we will get to that in just a little bit. I know in one of the chats someone was talking about spell work towards luck in finding a job. A gold or a green candle would be your thing for that. I would lean towards gold personally because success in finding a job. Next would be silver. That is intuition, lunar energy, and dreams. A lot of people that do dream work typically end up using a silver candle at some point. Next is red. Passion, anger, desire. Red candles have been used in sex magic, have been used for hexing. They have also been used in banishing in some cases. Typically, it also used alongside a black candle. Return to senders sometimes consist of red candles. It just depends on the situation. Orange candles are for courage, creativity, and success. I mean, it's one of those things where if you need that extra boost of bravery, light an orange candle. It might be a placebo effect, it might work, but it never hurts to try and to add it in if you so choose. A yellow candle is for positivity, intellect, and travel. Yellow candles typically tend to be used when you are learning about your past and things like that, think yellow, sun, light your way, that sort of thing. Green is fertility, prosperity, and harmony. Come back to green. That's why I was saying work with the find a job spell. A lot of people also associate a green candle with money, which would be the prosperity part. Blue is emotions, legal matters, and intellect. Getting your emotions in check when you're going into a legal battle with an ex, and you need to figure out how to do it. Blue candle. Purple, psychic ability, wisdom, and spirituality. Purple is the witch's candle. Don't ask me why, it is. It is what it is. A few witches I know, especially those who follow Hecate, tend to lean towards purple candles a lot in their work. And I'm all for it. If it helps, do it. Pink candle is healing, friendship, and self-love. A lot of self-love spells, self-confidence spells, things of that nature will call for a pink candle. Especially if you need self-confidence going into the dating world, that sort of thing. There's also like light blue and things like that. And I believe they're slightly different than their original variants, but not by much. The general aspect is they are blue is a blue is a blue type thing. But, like I said, variations differ between what people believe. And always first go to what is calling to you. Look at what is calling to you. Check your notes. See if it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, but it's still calling to you, meditate on it. And do a little self-reflection and think about why would that color be calling to you in this situation. And you might find your answer. Reading candle flames. If you have a strong, steady flame, the spell or intention is strong and will likely succeed. Positive energy surrounds the working. Flickering flames mean there may be spiritual activity or interference. The energy around the spell is unstable, indicating potential obstacles or distractions. A dancing flame means the spell is working with a lot of energy. This could indicate strong emotions or a dynamic situation related to the intention. Weak or small flame. This means the spell may lack energy or focus and may need more intention, energy, or possibly a different approach. An extinguished flame means the spell is not meant to be at this time. There could be a significant obstacle or a need to reconsider the intention or approach. A rapid burning flame. The spell will manifest quickly, however, it may also mean that the energy is being used up too quickly, potentially leading to burnout. Flame color. A bright flame, clear, strong energy. The path to the spell's success is open and positive. A blue flame means spiritual presence or protection, often seen as a positive of spiritual support. A yellow flame means mental or intellectual energy, focus on communication learning, or clarity. A red flame is for passion or emotional energy. Basically, you're putting your emotion into the spell, and the spell is very emotionally charged. And depending on the spell, it could very well blow up in your face. One second. Yes, my peoples, I am running on hopes, prayers, and coffee right now. Additional signs: sooty smoke, negative energy, or blockages that need to be cleared. There may be lingering issues or resistance. Clear smoke, clear energy, and positive progress indicates a smooth flow of energy towards the intention. Crackling or popping flame, messages from the spirit world, or attention to unforeseen events. Pay close attention to external signs and messages. Which means pay attention to your wax, or things you see in the flames, in the smoke. Pay very close attention to every aspect of what you are doing. Tunneling candle. The focus is too narrow, broaden your approach, or consider other perspectives in your spell work. An uneven burn means the spell may encounter obstacles or uneven progress. Reflect on what might be causing this disruption. Candle drips and tears are typically emotional energy, where it means emotional energy is involved, maybe working through, that you may have to be working through. And it might be causing barriers in your work. Now, okay. When it comes to reading wax, I have had a few different experiences with reading wax. Typically, it depends on the candle as well. I use chime candles because I can read the wax. The flame typically burns clean unless there is actually something going on, which leads to a good result. Now, if it's a clean burn, you have no issues, no excess wax, no excess drippage other than a drop here or there, you're fine. There's typically nothing to worry about. I have seen with some candles a few extreme things. If your candle starts leaning and wax is flowing out like a waterfall and drying, that is emotional charge and emotional energy. And you have to watch out for it. It could very well keep whatever spell you're trying to do from working. Typically, it is some emotional blockage. There is something you are holding on to that is keeping that spell from working. I have seen it once or twice, and it's a lot. I had an occasion where I thought someone was doing harm to me. I did a traditional, let me rephrase. My sister had taught me how to do a traditional, or at least I assume it's traditional, but she grew up in a line of Gardenian witches, or Wiccans. And she taught me a single candle return to sender. Really simple. I might have to do a video on it because it's like stupid simple, and every Pinterest, Instagram, TikTok makes it seem like there is so much more involved than there actually is. But I have seen where I did a return to sender candle and the wax ended up forming a hangman. The wax strips coming off the side of the candle formed a hangman. It's a pretty good indicator that someone's meaning you harm. And this was also after about a month of basically going through hell. And quite literally a week later, the person I thought was causing it had shown up to a ritual, and I'm assuming it was to see what they had wrought, and didn't appreciate what was said and probably didn't appreciate what happened after, like, a couple days later. But it is what it is. You have to be sure that if you don't know what your candle means and what the way you're burning it means, you can always ask someone. This is why I like the idea of covens and having at least a circle of witchy friends. If I don't understand something, I can go ask someone else. Doesn't mean you have to be in some traditional coven or anything like that. No. Even if you just have a circle of witchy friends, at least a small circle of them, I mean, you're golden. And because it's literally just having someone else to bounce questions off of and ideas off of. Quite literally, at least in my eyes. Because if I didn't have my Book of Shadows, if I didn't know all of this, I can think offhand of 5 other people right now I could ask who have been through it, been doing it longer, and know what they're talking about. But that's why having your circle is amazing, and it's the best thing you can have. Even if it is in one of these groups, if you don't know, come to the Beginner Witches chat. Ask. Take a picture of what you're curious about, if it has to do with your candle or whatever. Ask questions. If you're doing tarot and you read something and it's not making sense to you, ask. Say, hey, this is what I'm reading from these cards. It doesn't make sense. Can someone else give me some input? Okay. And typically not understanding tarot, that's very much an inexperienced thing, and I am just as guilty of it as anyone. I have friends that I will openly ask, where I'm like, hey, I'm getting this interpretation, what are you reading off this? I need extra input. And there's no problem asking friends extra input on anything, any spell work, any tarot reading, anything. But you also need to understand your reading is your own when it comes to tarot. Nobody can read your pool. If you pull, something seems weird with it, you're interpreting it weird, and you want extra input, yeah, you can ask. Just tell whoever it is, hey, this is what I'm reading from it. Something isn't quite right, can we talk about this and maybe see what we can gather from it? And it's probably one of those things where you're going to end up going in depth and be like, oh, this goes a little deeper than I thought it did. Type of thing. And candle magic very much is one of those things. It is incorporated into, like I said, it's incorporated in just about just about anything. You have your core cuttings, your karma work, prosperity, self-love, self-confidence, anything and everything. Typically there's a candle involved of some sort. Altars, candle. Everything has a candle. Somehow, some way, somewhere. I don't understand necessarily why always candles. I've just learned to accept it. I think it's because the flame draws the energy. At least that's the only thing I can gather. But either way, it does work. And ceromancy, which is candle magic and reading the flames and the wax and the smoke, is actually a very interesting and intriguing thing, and it is easier for some than others. Typically, it'll be easier for someone who is a fire sign or an air sign to read a candle than an earth sign or a water sign. Don't know why. I'm assuming when air feeds fire and fire is fire, so easier to read versus the others. But like I said, everybody has their strengths. Whereas I can read candles all day long. I have no issue with it. Other people specialize in tarot. I do not specialize in tarot. I am very much a rookie at tarot. I follow the KISS method with tarot, which that will probably be our next lesson. Because that is a quick and easy one that I can knock out in no time at all. And it will literally be called Tarot the KISS method. Because it is how I've learned to work tarot, where it works for me. And I will also explain different cards. I will show some very easy beginner cards and things of that nature. So it'll be a quick, easy, to the point, because on the week of the 2nd, that is my honeymoon week. So I will have pretty much poof disappeared other than a quickie video. And not many people are going to hear much from me that week. But that's okay. But everyone, I would like to thank Jacksonville Witches Society for letting me start these classes. Well, not letting me start these classes, giving me the inspiration to start these classes, and being willing to host these classes, as well as Witch's Way for letting me also post there. If anyone has any questions, comments, whatever, drop it in the chats, in the comments. And please, like and subscribe. We need to grow this channel. I would like to get to 50 subscribers by the end of August, so I can really embrace being able to do lives. Everyone, have a great week. Be careful, we have 4 retrogrades going on at the same time, and right now we have some astral flares. Be safe, take it easy, and I will see you next week. Bye.